Romance anime suck. God, they suck. It's so hard to find a good one. In my entire anime watching life, and I've watched, 350 animes, I would only consider two animes a 9 out of 10 anime. And you might find that absurd. You might think that I hate romance anime. You might think I'm some shonen soy boy. The thing is, I don't really hate the concept of a romance anime. There are a bunch of subgenres when I'm talking about romance anime. These subgenres vary from good to lazy writing. It can be a coherent story revolving a romance like Scum's Wish. Those romances tend to be good, or at the bare minimum interesting because of the story aspect. There's another subgenre of the coming-of-age romance, where two characters eventually figure out that they like each other and by the end of the series confess to each other. This is a very typical romance anime. Example is probably Toradora, or I guess Kaguya-sama in a sense. There's also the couple romance anime, where the anime focuses on of the two main characters as a couple. Like usually these shows start with them as a couple, or is established very, very early that they are a couple. Now these animes are a little bit more rare, but they're very, very dependent on the chemistry between the guy and the girl. If they have great chemistry, it can make a really, really good show. There's of course the basic romance anime, right? Where two people like each other and they're waiting for God himself, or in this case the writer, just to come down and force them to procreate. This, I think, is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to writing. The entertainment, if you can even call it that, just comes from the cute girls having like stills of them being cute, whether it's just the moe moments, the panty shots, if it's that type of anime. Don't get me wrong, this concept can work out well. An anime character can be so cute to the point where it's gonna be a good show. But there has never been a character that is so cute that it made a 9 out of 10 anime. Writing a romance anime of any kind is not as hard as writing a complex seinen anime. I mean, we could admit something like Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen is probably harder to write than Nagatoro. The idea of writing a romance anime is a very simple concept. You tease the audience any chance you get. You tease their penises by having the anime character in poses or scenarios that are more ludicrous than ludicrous in Justin Bieber's Baby. You also tease their hearts by making them as close as possible to say their feelings, and just for the Kool-Aid man to pop out of nowhere and just destroy any chance of it ever happening. This is not a hard concept. The pushing and pulling motion of an anime romance is crucial, in my opinion, to make a romance anime. But this concept of pushing and pulling, I find sometimes very boring. You see, I'm a human, right? And I'm not like the Greek god Sisyphus. I like pushing my boulder up the hill. After the boulder keeps on falling down, I get bored and I just walk away. I notice it mostly in romance anime where they overstay their welcome. Whether it's staying too long after the confession or just losing the momentum and having the confession happen way too late in the series. That's why I tend to like romance animes with a story. Go along with the lovey-dovey nonsense that comes with romance anime. It's still the same push and pull. You push this boulder up a hill, but at least you could see a story progressing over time. At least you could convince yourself that something is happening in the story. Now, something a romance anime should never do is having the rock fall down so far. In this new anime, My Tiny Senpai, it's in the bottom of the barrel when it comes to romance anime. It's very dependent on the cute still of the little senpai being adorable and having like a little bit of moe moments, a little bit of an ecchi here and there. The tiny senpai and the kohai, they obviously like each other. That's why it's called a romance anime. And considering that they are adults, I would imagine a confession would come soon. In episode 9, after a little debacle with a broom closet, they got stuck together in very typical romance anime stuff, the male character decides, you know what? This is it. I think I like this person. I want to know the tiny little senpai likes me back. Right? He's like completely convinced for some reason. The male character is about to ask the question, but against any sense of good writing, the tiny senpai interrupts him before he even starts and says she just wants to stay as co-workers. See, when I looked at this, my jaw physically dropped. Like, it's not hyperbole. I literally dropped my jaw. The Rock should fall because of external reasons. Whether it's the Kool-Aid Man, whether it's a physical plane coming into the building, it should never be one of the two main characters just plain out reject the other. Like, what's even the point of watching it anymore? And what's even more ridiculous is Tiny Senpai's canonical reasoning behind this. See, the little senpai doesn't want to be a cute couple like the other couple that we see in the anime. I know the point is for it to not make sense. They're mature lovers, she's never dated anyone ever before. It's cute because she's a bit dumb in the head. But a normal human should know that every relationship is different, right? Romance anime is not that hard to write. But if you somehow mess that up, romance anime could be the worst genre in anime.